is revolutionary.
Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfundable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Price go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Ooh, yeah! Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfundable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation! Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
But huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. I am AJ, I'm the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, and in the words of Frank Costanza, we are back, baby. Amazing launch of EMP Fusion. We've been up for like 3 days straight between development and AMAs, but the energy is high. We have already done some incredible AMAs releasing Fusion. Both charts of EMP and Eshare look extremely healthy. The flywheel is in full effect. Man, I don't know what more positive things we can say, but we're going to go over all of that plus a lot more. We're also going to go through a live walkthrough of the UI and answer any additional questions. But before we get to all of that, the most important part of the AMA, let me introduce my co-host and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
What's up? I'm good. Holy crap, it's been a busy few days, but nothing but the best.
Yes, no doubt, LA. I know, again, you've been incredibly hard at work, along with all of us, last minute testing, getting through all the launch pains of answering questions. But overall, again, before we even get started here, the launch of Fusion has been beyond our wildest dreams, and it has been an enormous success, not only for us that have been here, for the last 2.5 years, as the diehards, but even people that are just now hearing about EMP again, and getting involved. I mean, it's been firing on all cylinders, and we are literally only, 49 hours or 50 hours after launch. So all of that is really, really promising, and we really couldn't be any in a more of a better position than we are right now. Honestly, the amount of sacrifice that we saw within the first 2 days was even above and beyond what we had originally anticipated. And we'll go into more of the numbers a little bit later. But everything is going exactly according to our plans. The contracts are working flawlessly, and the overall sentiment and peg recovery plan is in full effect. I mean, everything that we have designed over the last year is coming to life, and again, I could not be more and more proud and more excited and more appreciative of our amazing community for really rallying behind this, because like we said all along, the more people that get behind Fusion and buy EMP and sacrifice, the sooner not only we get back to peg, but the sooner there is literally no more EMP left on the market. And when that happens, again, the revenue and earning potential of Fusion goes absolutely ridiculous. So, all right, LA, any
Yeah.
intro words you want to say?
Yes.
Man, I'm hyped up. I
Yes.
apologize. So,
I gotta tell you guys about this phone call that AJ and I had yesterday, because the way that he started the call, it could have gone either really, really amazing or really, really terrible.
right.
And it was so hard to tell when he started his intro to how he started the call. And even though I'm this very positive person, my heart just like kind of sunk when he started talking, because over the last year there's been so many calls that have started that way, because we
For
have had
sure.
to overcome so many hurdles, and then we've sat on the phone and worked out a plan and got over whatever it was that was standing in our way. And at that moment, it almost just was like muscle memory. It almost just felt like another one of those moments, but it wasn't one of those moments. He called me and he said to me, like, you're not going to believe this, but like, this is just beyond our wildest dreams. Like, not only is everything going according to plan, but it literally just couldn't be any better. And I was like, wow, this is the best possible phone call I could receive on a Sunday afternoon. So thank you very much.
I love it. Yes. Hell yes, LA.
Oh, and that was wonderful. So I just wanted to share that, because honestly, that phone call could have gone one of two ways, and I was very happy with the outcome.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and again, I mean, we do our best to plan for everything. Obviously, and the community, again, rallied behind us. We unfortunately can no longer say that we've never had a delayed launch, but it was delayed by 24 hours. But ultimately, that was the best decision we could have possibly made. Um, again, the devs were working around the clock on some very last minute adjustments. Um, and all those adjustments, again, were made in the vein of making EMP Fusion even more simple. And no matter how much testing or designing you can do, when you're ready to push contracts live, it is it's a whole different ball game. And so, that on top of BSC, again, even though the contracts were, good to go, BSC was really acting up that day, and we that delayed the whole process, and we got to a point where we said, let's not launch this where devs are going to be asleep now. Let's do it right. Let's delay. Again, jokingly, I said, after a year, what's one more day of waiting, right, LA? So it did end up being completely the right decision, though, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a really tough decision to make. And boy, did we ever try absolutely everything imaginable to launch that original day. But when it came down to it, the energy and the smoothness and everything was just so much better the next day. And we actually had an opportunity to work on so many other things to actually make the site and everything smoother and faster and better.
For sure.
um, And so it actually was just such a better product that was being launched because it was faster. And we had a chance to look at like tiny little things like, oh, this font should be a little bit bigger, or this should be this way, or this should be this way, because we had a lot of our devs are in Europe, so they finished our entire list overnight while we were sleeping. I wake up at 6 a.m. It's all done. So we have from 6 a.m. till 3 p.m. to be nitpicky and get, whatever the rest of the stuff we want done that, we didn't even think we'd have time to do before launch. So
For
it
sure.
ended up being even way better than it would have been the day before had we launched.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think I should have looked it up before we got on the AMA, but there is an actual like psychological law that says if you're given a certain amount of time to do something, you actually take the entire time to do that particular thing, even though you may be able to get it done a lot faster. And I just want to bring that up because that is how it's been going. I mean, we've been again testing and testing and testing over months of this, and again, it's not that we weren't prepared to launch. I mean, we said all along we were waiting for a finished product before we even announced a date. Obviously, the beta testers had to, go through and do that as well. But the whole point is that until you're ready to launch something live and you miss some things that maybe you've been looking at 1,000 times beforehand, it just makes it to where it's our team really making sure everything is flawless before we launch. So again, I just want to go over that. The community was super patient. I mean, I don't think we saw one bit of FUD, even though it was delayed, right, LA? I mean, again, shout out to all of you for just being
No,
amazing. Yeah,
our community is absolutely amazing. Like, it was very stressful for AJ was helping the devs and everything, and I was in the community, and I was extremely stressed that everyone was just gonna, eat us alive. And it was the absolute opposite. You guys were all so understanding and so patient and kind, and we were so incredibly appreciative for that. And everyone understood, and it just showed us more than we already knew that we have the absolute best community in crypto.
yeah, no doubt. Well, all right, awesome. Shout out to Mel. I guess what I was describing was called Parkinson's law. So yeah, again, I mean, and that is also the development struggle. I mean, we could be nitpicky and have the devs literally, design forever. But at some point we had to say, all right, this is enough for the MVP. Let's get it out. There's no security issues. Would we like a little more functions? Absolutely. But, we can't just continue to develop for the next, 20 years and not release anything. So it all worked out. And again, we are continuing, even today, the devs, I mean, we have a to-do list that's about 4 pages in a Google Doc that the devs are just continuing to knock out bit by bit. I think, and we'll get into all this a little bit later, but one of the big things just right before the AMA, I believe there's been a lot of updates to the mobile UI as well, right, LA? That should all be working pretty well now.
Yes, shout out to Trip Jammer because he sent me all the notes
Yeah,
of what he, there's a couple of people in the community who gave me some notes. I don't do crypto on my phone personally, so I hadn't personally been one of the ones testing on mobile. Um, but so I hadn't received any notes from anyone testing on mobile prior to the launch that it didn't look as good as it could have. So I'm happy that some of the community members spoke up and we were able to get that fixed up really quick. It looks so much better now and it's more functional and looks great. Yeah, we did that this afternoon. We pushed that out.
amazing, perfect. So, and again, over the next few days, we're going to continue pushing all that out. I know the APR, which we'll talk about in a minute. But before we get into that, I just wanted to give some more bullish stats, and really celebrate with all of you. And again, I get a little emotional over this too, so bear with me because the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into revitalizing EMP and all of you believing in us as a team to actually deliver. It's all coming together now. But I did want to go over some amazing stats. So, we have had over 27 million EMP deposited into Fusion, which in itself represents roughly 44% of the total supply. But if you factor in what is in the treasury and team wallets and locked contracts like the original boardroom, that means that there has pretty much been 50% of the entire supply of ENP is now off the market. And for us to have accomplished that in literally, 2.5 days, I mean, that is beyond our wildest dreams. And, in the next few weeks, especially as we continue to roll out our advertising, our AMAs, as we get exposure to other communities, and they slowly buy EMP and sacrifice it, that number could be even less, way, way ahead of schedule than we had originally anticipated. And I know I said it many times, but it's already becoming a reality that there may not be any more EMP left on the market in the very near future. And at that point, all of you that are in Fusion are going to be earning without any dilution whatsoever. So again, not to get too far in the weeds, but with Sparkler, we say EMP Fusion is Sparkler on steroids, and those that are familiar with Sparkler, Sparkler's been amazing, but you still have to have a farm position to keep up with the emissions of Spark. With EMP Fusion, once all the EMP is in Fusion, that is it, and we are able to not only buy microgrids off the market and absorb ownership as a protocol, but that means that as we grow and as we produce even more real revenue, then there is no more people to get in to split with. And so APR will only go up over time because, again, we're giving more rewards to the same amount of people. And that entire concept is just so powerful, especially as we move into, year 2, year 3, year 4 of Fusion being around, where all we are just sitting back, collecting, passive income from all of these revenue streams. So again, I just want to make sure everybody's well aware of that. You want to add to that at all, LA, before I have a few other awesome stats?
I'm gonna let you roll with it because it's an exciting moment.
Awesome. All right. So our launch, like I said, was 100% safe and as flawless as humanly possible. Obviously, it was a bit delayed, like I said, but the contract, excuse me, uh, oh man, sorry. The contracts are working flawlessly. No exploits, no potential issues, um, no bugs. Everything is just on par with what you would expect from us launching a protocol. So, and then we are again more confident than ever that we will be able to get back to peg because the ecosystem, is already firing on all cylinders. I mean, today alone uh, was what, about a 20% increase in EMP. So it'll be only a matter of days. And who knows, it might not be. And that we're going to talk about that a little bit too, because we do want people to be prepared for those potential swing traders that we discussed. There will be dips. So again, maybe not go all in on EMP Fusion, especially if you already have a bag, and wait for those dips because that could be again another opportunity to get a discount on your ownership. But overall, I mean, again, we're way more parabolic than we had originally anticipated, and that just gives us even more confidence of our game plan. So, um, uh, again, around our AMAs, PEG is going up, and the marketing and AMA train that we have very strategically put together, thanks to LA, is already paying off. And what, we have about 20 more AMAs in the pipeline, LA?
I'll have to check because I've lost track, but I think maybe like 22 more at this point, 23 more, something like that.
Yeah, no doubt. So
As of this morning, I think we had 26 or 25 left. So, yeah,
awesome. Well, and even
lots
today,
more.
yeah, a lot more. Again, I'm getting tired just thinking about it. But yeah, even today we had Bruce's Calls, which was an amazing one. In terms of price, it started really mooning when we had that. And then obviously DeFi Dojo and Dow King just right before the AMA. That's why I was a little bit late. We were brainstorming even after the stream. So all
I
right,
want to say
yeah,
one thing.
yeah,
I
go ahead.
could tell that everyone was extremely interested because every single AMA host kept AJ at least 20 minutes over the 1 hour mark. So, uh, you know, not great for AJ's energy levels if every AMA host for all 28 AMAs do that, but um, very bullish for us because they don't have to do that. They're committing an hour to us, and they're so interested that they're keeping him on beyond that hour mark. So that says something.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. Again, I couldn't agree more. And I think a lot of people, were like, wow, like EMP actually has started to pull this off. And we're not even close to the ultimate goal. So again, that is super exciting. That we have, I don't want to say proved the haters wrong. Because again, all the people that we were with today have been lovers of the protocol, but it's just really good to see, the people understanding that we have built a monster with EMP Fusion. So, all right, I will go ahead and pull up my screen share. LA, you're gonna have to walk me through what you want me to highlight because I can't have
Yeah.
the notes up. But can you just elaborate a little bit while I get everything pulled up?
Yeah, so we're going to go through the entire platform, and just based on questions and feedback over the last couple days since launch, we're going to go through everything top to bottom, but then really emphasize some of the things that have been the most complicated and confusing for everyone. So there's certain things I just want to make sure to point out so that we have them on a recording and we can send people back to the specific moments in the timestamps should they be confused about certain things.
Perfect. All right, awesome. So here we are. I have the UI pulled up. So what do you want me to run through first?
So the first thing that I think is the hot topic that we should cover is APRs and daily rewards. Obviously, we're still working on the math and the formulas behind the scenes. You guys heard us mention a lot of times before we launched that it's impossible for us to predict the APRs ahead of time because we didn't know how many people would get in and how much money would enter Fusion. But the larger the sample size, the easier it is for us to be extremely accurate. So with time passing, it's getting better and better, and it's just going to take us a couple days to really fine tune that and make it extremely accurate. So if you want to kind of go into that a little bit,
Yeah, no,
AJ.
I mean, you did a great job giving the overall gist. But yeah, 100%. I mean, just like with any farm or any protocol that you get in early, the APRs will vary dramatically. And, we've done our best to try to give an accurate depiction, but because it's only been 3 days and we have such a large amount of volume coming into Fusion, it's hard to give an accurate description or depiction, even with the math being perfect, because again, we can't calculate per individual market per individual microgrid value. So we have to have a process that accounts for everything. And so again, just to give more transparency, there are two technically based on the code. There are two forms of revenue. So the number one form is just the emissions of Eshare. That is essentially our base rewards, and that is the same reward rate that the farms had when you were providing LP over on our traditional platform. And then the other set of rewards is the manual injections from our revenue. And when I say manual, again, it's all done through smart contracts, but that injection is not, a drip, so to speak. It is something that we do randomly because, again, we also want to avoid front running and potential exploits that way. But over a 24-hour period, you will be able to calculate your personal APR just based on the rewards that you're getting. So, and above all, and we've said this many times as well, unfortunately, APR is a very poor metric for yield. Meaning, again, in DeFi, it is the standard, but it can be wildly inaccurate because APR stands for annual percentage rate. The key word there is annual, and unless we have an entire year of data that we can go on, or that we have a constant number of rewards that we give every day, it's nearly impossible to give an accurate APR because we can't predict the future. So, all that being said, we are working on it. Again, right now the APR is very attractive. Again, I haven't done the math myself, but we've had reports of anywhere from 150% all the way up to 300% APR. Again, depending on when the injections are going in, when when your rewards are claimed, and that's another thing. It also depends on the price of Eshare. So if Eshare is up in value, you're getting way more rewards in terms of dollar value than you do when Eshare is lower. So there's a bit of game theory to that in and of itself, where you may want to let your rewards build up, and then once Eshare goes up in value, then you can claim or BBE on that as well. So all right, those were all the points. Was there anything I was missing that we had discussed, LA?
No, I think with the APRs, that's it for now. The main message is please just be patient for a couple days. Try your best not to kind of stare at it all day and overanalyze it. If you do need a distraction, a great one would be to get on this AMA train with us. Help to share on the socials about the AMAs when we're posting about it, and come support, because that's the best way to actually help boost your rewards as we do this big marketing campaign to help get more people into Fusion, help raise peg. It will help support the eShare price, and everything will move on up. And then in the meantime, everything will work itself out as the devs work on these things in the background.
Yeah, 100% LA. And one more thing I wanted to mention, we are still below peg at the moment, and a lot of you sacrificed EMP even lower than what it is right now. And so if you really want to know the true APR, then you also have to calculate your rewards based on what the price was when you sacrificed your EMP. Obviously, once we're at peg, APR will be calculated on your microgrid value, because at that point, everybody is transacting at market value when it comes to EMP or the secondary market. But that's another really important factor, and again, another incredible bonus for all of you getting in early. You're actually getting a much higher APR because, again, you're getting EMP for way less than the peg value of EMP. So there's a lot of complicated math that goes into it, and I'm sure the community will also help those of you determine your individual APRs if you need the extra help. And again, it's not that we're rewarding people differently depending on their ownership. It's just there's a very different calculation depending on what time of the day you're looking at the math. Again, maybe you look at the math right before we do another injection, and then the math is a lot less attractive. If you do it right after we do an injection, it's also a lot more accurate. And again, the longer sample size you have, that will really be the best way to determine the APRs overall. So hopefully, again, as time goes on, we all are more and more accurate.
Amazing. So next up, can you walk us through how to sacrifice and show the different options? And maybe just as a refresher, mention which options get the peg bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, for those of you brand new, or maybe you need a bit of a refresher, the first thing you want to do is sacrifice your assets. And again, the alpha for all of you that are paying attention and learning along with us is you want to be sacrificing any asset that has EMP exposure. So again, I'll walk you through it. That is liquid EMP, it's EMP ETH LP, or it's up EMP at the bottom, or E-bonds, which again, you have to scroll down. A lot of people said, I don't see E-bonds. Well, you have to scroll down. There it is. So you have to scroll down farther to see E-bonds. So, but any of those, they have EMP in them, um, and will get the peg bonus. So, all the other assets like BNB or ETH or UBUSD, that's absolutely something you can do. But that becomes a lot less attractive when we're below peg because you're not getting the additional bonuses. So while we're below peg, just go on the market. Again, not financial advice. Buy EMP off PancakeSwap and then sacrifice your EMP directly. Or again, if you have LP in the farms, you can remove your EMP ETH LP from the farm and sacrifice that directly. You get the same bonus value. You get 2 times the bonus value actually because we count the ETH as EMP. So you don't have to go and unpair and then buy EMP with the ETH. You can just sacrifice everything. So yeah, that's the way to get started. And then let me show this as well. So when you choose, bear with me here. All right, so say you wanted to sacrifice 100 EMP. Again, there is a 10 EMP minimum, and some people were having issues with decimal places. So if you hit max and you have a lot of decimals, try to reduce it to only 2 decimal places. That will also help. But as you can see, you will get sacrifice points for doing so. And 1 sacrifice point, again, is the value of is EMP at the value of peg. So again, if you're buying with a stable token, you're going to be getting a lot less sacrifice points rather than going and doing it with EMP because you get the peg bonus as well as any of the early sacrifice bonuses as well. But and then your sac points will determine your ownership. So and you get the what is it from here, LA? I think about a 4x. So remember, your microgrid will be 4 times higher in value than what you sacrificed while we're at this level. And that will get gradually less and less as we get back to peg.
Yeah, and just to mention, because it has come up a couple times, 1 sacrifice point is equivalent to 1 EMP. So if you ever want to know the price of 1 sacrifice point, just look up and look for the EMP symbol and you'll see the price of it, and that will help you. So 1 to 1 with EMP for sacrifice points.
Yep, exactly. And the reason this is, again, you're not getting 100 EMP for sacrificing 100 EMP is because you get the peg bonus. But like Ellie said, if you're buying a microgrid on the market or you want to know the actual value of currently of sacrifice points is exactly what Ellie said. The 1 sacrifice point would be 1 EMP at market value, so 23 cents. Yep. All right. Does that help, LA? Anything else, or moving on to the next part?
I had on my notes just to remind everyone that your sacrifice points already reflect the peg bonus and the early sacrifice bonus. So
Correct.
what you see in that bottom right corner for what you're about to receive, that already reflects both of those bonuses. So if you were to put the equivalent dollar amount in, say, BUSD, you would have a lot less sacrifice points in that bottom corner.
Yep, 100%. Yep. So again, like I said, those that are paying attention, the best way is to just buy EMP, and this will all even out because when we are at peg value, then it is fine to do, you get the same value as if you're buying EMP off the market or just sacrificing ETH or BNB or USD because there is no more peg bonus.
All right, let's
Cool.
see what's next.
Uh,
Okay, next on our list is to talk about BBE and how it works. And with a big emphasis that right now it is manual. And then AJ, if you can also talk about the rewards and how it actually works with the peg bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, we were doing some more testing. So I have one of my batteries active, but I've been BBEing the whole time, up until this point because BBE is so powerful. So what happens is BBE or buy back and earn, that will take your rewards that you're earning every day, and when it activates again, you may have to wait a few hours depending on how big your deposit is. But I can promise you, everybody is getting rewards. It's just again dependent on how much rewards are there and when the manual deposits are. But once you hit a minimum threshold, again, it will show blue here to say activate, and those rewards will continue to accumulate. Again, just like batteries. Indefinitely. So you can
Can
choose
I
to.
say one
Oh,
thing?
oh God, yeah.
Sorry. I just want to clarify that unlike batteries, where there is like a set $15 minimum threshold, with BBE, there's no like set number. It's just like whenever you have rewards that are available to claim, it'll light up. Like that's
Yeah.
what he means when he says threshold. I just wanted to like explain what you meant by
Yeah, thank
threshold.
you, LA. That was confusing. So yeah, BBE has no minimum threshold. I just meant there has to be rewards, period, in there to be able to activate it. But yeah, and so what is really powerful with the BBE is that those rewards act when you activate this, they actually go on the market and buy EMP, and you get the peg bonus of that EMP. So rather than, taking profit in one of the batteries, claiming that, selling it for more EMP, and depositing it all over again yourself, you're getting that same value all in one shot. And that will dramatically increase your sacrifice points or your value of your microgrid. So, BBE as a community, BBE is really important, especially early on. Again, not financial advice. We want everybody to do their own strategy, but if you are here for the long run, you should absolutely be doing BBE until we are back at PEG, because not only does it help the protocol, but you're getting massive bonuses on your microgrid value by doing the BBE. So yeah, again, that's alpha for all of you. Um, and again, you're not really sacrificing any rewards either because you can always sell a part of your microgrid at any point. So you're just basically foregoing the liquid rewards for a much higher reward in the long term. And remember, the more ownership that you have, again, we have this awesome little dial right here. It will show you your ownership of the protocol, and once all the EMP in existence is in, then the only way to get a bigger ownership is buying somebody else's microgrid from them. So, I know a lot of people are on the mission of getting 1% ownership already. So that's super powerful. But all right, does that help, LA, for BBE?
It does. And I wanted to take a moment to pause and celebrate because we have a record high number of viewers for the whole year so far. We have 105 people watching so far on this
What?
stream.
Let's
So
go. Hell yeah.
everybody remember to smash the like button. And if you're a first time viewer, remember that we have twice weekly AMAs at this time. So subscribe to our channel.
I love it. Yes, please like, comment, subscribe. If you do have questions as well, please type them in the live chat. We'll get to all those at the end. And yeah, welcome to all the new faces, or maybe the old faces that have started to return now that we're heating up again. So yeah, that's great news, LA. Thank you for sharing. So
Yeah, shout out to DeFi Guide and Crypto Mischief. We'll be doing some content with both of them this week as well. So amazing. So one thing I wanted to have you explain is the ownership and the APR, because I think some people are confused about that. So um, is the APR the same for everyone, even if you own more of the protocol?
Yeah, so again, that is why APR is a very poor metric because it really is not that specific. But the answer is yes, the APR is the same for everybody, but the number value is different because it's a percentage. So again, if you have more ownership, you earn more rewards, but if you're calculating APR as a percentage, it's the same, for everybody. So there is no unfair advantage for
Exactly.
whales. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to go into this and we will go into it further in the questions. But a lot of people had concerns that, this was a whales game and that whales would have an unfair advantage in Fusion because somehow if they had a larger ownership, they'd be earning more per day because they'd be getting a higher APR somehow. So I did want to really at the top of the
Yeah.
show, if 42 minutes in is the top of the show, I think it will be.
Yeah, totally.
um, I really wanted to emphasize that yes, people with a larger ownership position are earning more per day because of the overall reward pool. They're taking more of that in per day because they have a larger principal investment. And
Totally.
so they're earning more, but they're not actually getting a higher percentage of APR. In relative to you, they're earning the same rewards percentage per day. You might have a smaller principal investment than them, so you're taking in slightly less of the rewards per day. That's the way that it works. Hopefully that makes sense,
Yeah, no,
AJ.
that was a great explanation. And yeah, again, if you're earning 10% of the protocol, if you have $10 invested, that's a dollar that you're earning. If you have $100 invested, that's $10 that you're earning. So again, it's all relative to your position, but there is no bonuses or, unfair payout to people that have a larger ownership. They're just getting a bigger number. Uh, Again, in terms of dollar
Mm-hmm.
value, not in terms of percentage payout.
And then say for example, and this is not to say that a whale wouldn't BBE, but let's just say for this example, the whale has their batteries activated and the minnow wants to catch up to those larger holders, so they choose to BBE. They could go from that, $10 to then, 15 or $12 or $15 just by BBEing and adding to their ownership position. So then maybe instead of earning that $1, they're earning $1.50 or $2, and they're slowly adding to their position, so they're earning slightly more per day and they're catching up to those people. Will you catch up from $1 a day to $10 a day in the blink of an eye? No. But can you slowly work up to it over time? Yes.
I love that, Ella. That's so bullish. And yeah, I mean, if anything, Fusion is the opposite of a whales game for exactly why LA just explained. So again, maybe the whales, they want their money back sooner. They're just putting their rewards into batteries, but you are looking to build your position long term. You don't have to bring over any additional capital. All you have to do is focus on the BBE, again, especially in the beginning, because BBE will go away one day. Again, we're more than confident that all the EMP will be in the protocol. If anything, we can maybe work out a way to BBE and buy other people's microgrids on the marketplace, but that's a whole nother coding nightmare that I can foresee. But the whole idea is that BBE is much more powerful in the beginning, because you are gaining on the whales without ever having to put more capital in to do so. So yeah, again, great explanation, LA. That was really important, and I don't think I talked about that much on our other AMAs, so I'll make sure to add that to what we cover for sure.
Awesome. So before we move on to the marketplace page, I just want to simplify the process of how to BBE. So if you do not have any batteries activated, you will be collecting energy rewards in your buyback and earn section, which is in that top right corner. AJ's is locked right now because he does have his batteries activated, but if you do not have any batteries activated, that is where you'll be collecting your rewards, and it'll say energy rewards, and then it'll show you the dollar amount. Now, as he mentioned, the actual dollar amount that you will add to your position will be much higher than that, because when those energy rewards go to buy the EMP, you'll get the peg bonus. And so it's actually much higher than what it shows on that screen. And we are actually working on maybe adding an additional panel that shows both values so that you can actually see both. So you don't have to look at your, BSC scan ticket to see it. But basically what you'll do is you'll look at the amount of rewards that you've earned there, and anytime that it seems worth it to you that you're ready to compound based on the ratio between amount of rewards versus gas cost, you will press that activate button and it will initiate a manual compound. So whatever you have in there plus the peg bonus will compound back into your ownership position, and it will add it to your sacrifice points. And if it's your first time doing it and you're maybe potentially worried that it's actually not going to work, a very easy way to do that is either to screenshot it or just to jot down on a piece of paper how many sacrifice points you have prior to doing it, then initiate your BBE, and then take a look at how many points you have afterwards. And then you could even do the manual math based on the price of EMP, knowing that each sacrifice point is one EMP if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I love that. That was so good, LA. Really quick, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't lose your train of thought, but I just want to comment really quick on a development, mindset really quick as well. Our smart contracts, they do not ever look at individual users. So why I'm saying that is if there is never going to be a situation that everybody else but you gets rewards, it's impossible because the code is law, and if there is a discrepancy that you see 99.999% of the time, it's simply that you don't know how to look in the right spot or verify on BSC scan or anything else. And I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm just saying that because I can promise you, you are not being excluded from the rewards because the contracts are working as intended for everybody else. So does that make sense, LA? I just want to,
Yeah,
further
yeah.
clarify that. Yeah,
I think it is cool though if it's your first time BBEing to watch those rewards grow though. So I
for
think it
sure.
would be cool to jot down how many you have and then see, you know, it grow afterwards. I think that would be a cool experience if it's your first time doing it. And some people just like to verify to always, you know, make sure things are working. But I just wanted to kind of show you how you could do that. But yeah, that's the BBE. I know it works a little bit differently than we originally planned. We are, you know, gonna hopefully make it automatic in the future so you could just toggle it on and off. But for right now in the MVP, it is a manual process. So you can press the activate button as soon as you have even a tiny little itsy bitsy amount of rewards in there. Do you want to do that? Probably not, because you are paying gas prices every time. Gas on BSC is not very much, but do you need to compound every time you have 25 cents worth of rewards in there? Probably not. But the strategy is completely up to you. So you can do it as often or as infrequently as you wish, because there really are no restrictions on the BBE for, you know, when you can or cannot do it.
Yes,
As long as you have rewards in there.
totally.
And as long as you don't have active batteries activated.
All right, amazing. So I did
So
want
let's
to,
move.
yeah.
Oh,
All right,
sorry.
really
Go
quick,
ahead.
I
No,
want to
no.
cover two things I just remembered that have come up. Again, I might not be on your notes, but this right here, again, source of sacrifice. It will show you what you have sacrificed from what account or what asset rather. But a lot of people have been asking what this is. The sacrifice. Oh, hang on. All right, here we go. This part right here, sacrifice. That is again a typo. We, even though we looked at everything 1,000 times, that will be updated to say legacy contracts. And so when you are able to finally claim from the DAAS and detonator reactor nodes, all of that, this will track your sacrifice from those contracts. So I just want to highlight that. We'll talk more about that in a minute with the migrations. And then last but not least, we'll go over this more as well. But you can purchase mENERGY right from the homepage or your dashboard. So again, this will give you the energy you need to either buy batteries or facilitate activating or deactivating a battery, and you can buy any of these assets. You can, if you have Eshare, you're good. But BNB, ETH, USDC, USDT, any of these will give you credit at market value anyway. So this is one of the menus that it really doesn't matter what you're buying or using, because if you use BNB, ETH, or USDT, it will buy Eshare under the hood for you anyway. So just want to clarify that. And we'll talk more
That's
about that in a minute.
perfect, because that's actually where we're going next to talk about mENERGY.
All right, perfect. So I
Yeah.
think, um,
If you
the,
could go to the marketplace
yeah, you want to do the
page.
marketplace, and then we'll go back to dashboard for batteries.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so we wanted to explain, first of all, what mENERGY is. So mENERGY is marketplace energy. We did end up switching it to be called something slightly different, just to clarify so it doesn't get confused with the energy that you're earning in your battery, or sorry, yeah, in your batteries, but or in your BBE. So it is called mENERGY, and one mENERGY is equivalent to $1. And so there's a few different things that you're going to use your mENERGY for. You will use it to purchase batteries. As you can see, all 4 batteries cost 15 mENERGY each. And all the operational costs involved with operating your batteries will also use mENERGY. And all of those usually cost 1 mENERGY each. So activating your batteries, deactivating your batteries, claiming from your batteries, and then reallocating your batteries. So if you have multiple batteries and you're choosing how much energy goes to which one, that is called choosing your allocations. And if you want to reorganize that or switch it around, that will cost one mENERGY.
Yeah,
And
and
so
we'll
you
we'll go
can,
more into that in a minute too. But yeah, go ahead. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so at the top of the screen, you can either buy small amounts of mENERGY, and just like AJ was showing on the other panel on the main screen, you can buy mENERGY on every screen of you can buy it on the homepage, the dashboard, or the marketplace. But you can buy it with Eshare or a number of other assets. And under the hood, if you're buying it with any of those other assets, it is purchasing Eshare with those assets in order to switch it to mENERGY. You can either buy just enough to get your battery and then continue buying more as you need it, or you can purchase a power pack. A power pack is a package of a larger amount of mENERGY that will get you a slight bonus. So depending on the size of the pack, you're going to get either a 5%, a 10%, or a 15% bonus, which will get you a little bit of extra mENERGY for your purchase. Keep in mind, if you are buying the larger sizes, you will have to hold on to quite a bit of that mENERGY for a while because there's currently not enough in the marketplace to spend it on. But in the near future, we will be adding a lot of extra batteries, including batteries from other protocols. AJ's thrown out, working with potentially Elephant Money and some other protocols that are exciting. We'll also be adding batteries for our own protocol with additional utility, like possibly something for detonator to maybe auto compound or claim, something like that. There's going to be a lot more options for what you can do with your mENERGY, but currently it is only associated to these 4 batteries and the operational costs. So if you are purchasing one of those larger packages, just please keep that in mind because you cannot cash out your mENERGY for blue chips or stables. You can only use it in the marketplace.
Yeah, no doubt. And
Yeah.
not to cut you off, LA, but I just want to elaborate on that one little point at the end there. That is done on purpose because, again, if you were able to just buy these power packs and get that 10% bonus and then use that to then reconvert your energy back into, I'm sorry, your mENERGY back into regular energy or stables or blue chips, that would be a massive exploit and people would take advantage of that and drain it all to zero. So again, even though everything is used in the protocol is known as energy, but there is a difference between energy and mENERGY, and mENERGY is again that $1 value representation of energy. So yeah, go ahead, LA. Sorry.
AJ, can you explain why it might be worth it to still buy a power pack, even if currently there isn't as much that you can purchase with it?
Yeah, no doubt. So again, it's basically locking in your gains, so to speak. So obviously eShare is going to be very volatile. Right now eShare is very low. So again, maybe you want to lock in some gains now, or maybe you want to wait until eShare goes up, and then you could maybe buy more mENERGY at a later date. I mean, there is no right or wrong answer. But again you are going to need mENERGY to participate in the ecosystem. And I'll show you in a minute, especially if you're a whale, maybe, or maybe you are somebody that wants to really, compound 1 week and claim another week, and vice versa. You will be spending a little bit more in mENERGY to do all that. So, it's powerful to have it. You're going to need it no matter what. And again, those that get it now, even if you can't spend it all right away, you're prepared for when we add more and more batteries or utility batteries, and even the microgrids. You also need some mENERGY to initiate the split my position as well. So yeah, you want to add to that, LA? Any other reasons?
I'll just say I personally got a power pack just so that I'm fully taken care of for the next year or so. For any operational costs, I got all 4 batteries. And
For
just
sure.
anytime I want to claim or reallocate, or deactivate so I can BBE for a little bit, and then reactivate so I can claim for a little bit, and then swap back and forth. I have all the mENERGY I need for any operational costs, or any future batteries for the next year or so, and I'm all set, so I don't have to worry about it. So that was my personal thought when I bought my power pack.
Yep, totally. And again, there's no right or wrong answer, and that could be an amazing move, especially, if Eshare does happen to go down. I mean, again, we can't predict the future, but locking in those gains, and that conversion, to mENERGY is part of the game theory.
Yes. And then if you can scroll down a little bit further, go to the microgrids.
Yep.
We did want to just emphasize that for right now, you're going to purchase them with BNB, but can you go kind of into future plans a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the microgrid marketplace again. Just scrolling through here, I see a few that may be a really good deal actually. So again, just be very careful because some are a horrible deal. And again, we're working on a way to show the more accurate conversion on whether you're getting a good deal or not, and not having to do it on your own, the math on your own, so to speak. So definitely make sure you look into all of that. Obviously, it is a one-time decision, so make sure you're very attuned to what you want to do before you do it. Anyway, yes, the whole idea for microgrids is that eventually you will be able to only transact in these in eShare, and so again, we held off on the MVP, at least the initial launch, and did everything in BNB just because we didn't want to be susceptible to flash loan attacks, and there's a lot more math and oracles involved with using eShare. But again, the whole idea is that eventually everything will be conducted in eShare, and add more utility and buying pressure or volume to eShare itself. Yeah, so hopefully that will be coming soon. We don't have an exact date, but we're working on that as we speak. So was that it for microgrids LA or what else?
Could you hit a buy button on one of them?
Yeah, let me see.
Just whichever one. I just want to point one thing out.
Oh, all right. I was gonna maybe buy one. This one's below. This one looks good. I might buy it. All right. So yeah, go ahead.
So I just wanted to point out how it works actually buying one. So you'll see that there's 425 SAC points that person's selling. But I just wanted to mention, just because they're selling 425 does not mean you have to buy all 425. So AJ hit the max button, but you can actually type in 4, 5, 125, 56. You can type in as many SAC points as you want and buy whatever portion of what they're selling as you want. So, like, someone can split their position and sell a portion of their position, or someone can sell their entire position. But just because they're selling their entire position doesn't mean you have to buy their entire position in one shot. So if someone's selling their entire position, it could very well happen that 10 different people buy their position. So I just really wanted to point that out because, like 425 SAC points could add up to a lot. And maybe you could only afford to buy 100 of them, and it's a great deal and you want them and you want to go for it. So I just wanted to point out that that's an option. And you'll see the final BNB price at the bottom there, and you'll only be able to purchase it if you currently have that amount of BNB in your wallet. So just make sure before you type in the amount of SAC points that you want, that you already have that amount available, and you'll be able to put the sale through. So
Yeah, amazing explanation. And yeah, it's super flexible that way, again, because we also didn't want to lock people in. You know, if you have $100,000 microgrid position, it may be really hard to find a buyer at 100K all at once, but you can buy, the market can buy portions of your stack points. And again, once all the EMP is in Fusion, there are no additional stack points available. So at that point, it's just about accumulating all the stack points from other players that you can, because that means you have more and more ownership of the protocol. So again, really, really cool part of the game theory and competition of getting as much stack points as possible. That needs to be a new cool sheet song, stack points, right, LA? So
That could fit into the song "How Big Is Your Sack?"
yeah, there you go, perfect. Shout out to Cool Sheet again.
How big is your sack? Points.
Points. Yeah, he needs to do a remix. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. But yeah, and again, he did the intro for us, and has done a lot of amazing crypto related videos. So shout out to you, Cool Sheet. Go check him out on YouTube. Cool Sheet, no S on YouTube. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So, all right, I think we covered all that. Let's go. Or I'm sorry, I don't want to get ahead of you. What you want to go? Oh,
Next,
yeah. Go ahead. What's next?
yeah, next is batteries on how can you buy batteries, and then how do the batteries work. So if you could show how to buy batteries and then go to the dashboard and show how the batteries work.
All right, perfect. So again, in the MVP, you're not able to buy multiple batteries. So this is an amazing bonus for all of you that are early as well, because once you buy one battery for $15, your earning potential is unlimited. So in the future, we are experimenting with two philosophies. One is expanding the capacity of your battery, so you would buy multiple batteries to then be able to earn uh, more in a given power cycle. And that's really more of a convenience. Again, it's not has nothing to do with a bonus on rewards. It's just if you don't want to have to, claim your battery every few days when there is a maximum capacity, then you will want to upgrade your battery to have a higher capacity. And we're also looking into having batteries expire. So obviously you have to pay 15 bucks and you would get way more in rewards than that 15. But at some point the battery, would expire and you'd have to buy another one. So those are some things we're experimenting with still to make sure all the math is good. But right now everything's unlimited, so all you gotta do is buy one of each battery and you have 100 or a bunch of options on what to do. So or you can just buy one, whatever asset you're bullish on. Again, BNB cash out battery, ETH cash out battery, and USDT cash out battery. That will determine the rewards that you're paid in. So inside of EMP Fusion, you get actual blue chip rewards. So again, you're not getting more of our share token or EMP itself. You're getting actual ETH or actual BNB or actual USDT. And then the split my position battery again is a one-time purchase, and that you will need that. This is what we call a utility battery, and this will allow you to split your position, which I'll show you in 1 minute on the dashboard. So hang on. All right, so as you can see here, when everybody will have the battery tab, but if you don't buy a battery, it will tell you to buy a battery here, and then you would just go in and buy them. Or this split my position battery is or tab is not there when you go to it. So when you buy the battery, it will allow you it will open this tab, and then you can set your split my position battery. So, and I see I have one open from testing. I need to cancel that because that's not a good deal for the community. Hang on one sec. So yeah, you can adjust your price or change or cancel right here on the homepage too. All right, let me do that real quick, and then again, like Ella was saying, you can set all your parameters, the amount of sack points that you want to do, and then the price. Just remember you will have to convert manually BNB back into a dollar value to get an accurate dollar per sack point. And then,
Can you show them like actually how to do it while you're on that screen? Like kind of do a test one, like put.
yeah, let me try, hang on. All right, so there you go. You can do it like that. Again, you do your sack points, and then you do again, it's based on you have to do the manual conversion, whatever BNB price is at the moment, but 0.0001 is a couple of cents, and then that would give you your total price. So again, just be careful. Make sure you are doing the correct market conversions. And again, we will make this more obvious moving forward as well. And we do get the 3% on both buys and sells of this as well. So just keep that in mind. But that 3% goes right back to all the microgrid holders as rewards. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are working on as quickly as possible making this a lot more user friendly so that you have to do a lot less manual math and it's just way more streamlined and user friendly. So just watch out for that. We are working on it. But that's how you do it for now. And you've got it there.
Great. Okay, awesome. So, and then you can also modify your batteries again. Uh, this is the screen to do so, or deactivate all batteries at the bottom as well. So, lots of things that you would want to do or not do. Again, just make sure that when you do this, it's all set to, 100% total allocation. So again, you have to go like 33, uh, 33, and 32. There you go, and then it'll let you modify. Or 34. Yeah, so there you go. All right, anything else here, LA?
Yes. So we are going to go through the circumstances in which your batteries are going to auto claim for you, or your BBE is going to auto compound for you, because there's a number of circumstances in the protocol in which your rewards there are going to go to zero and you're going to say, where did my rewards go? But there are some built-in features that are going to auto claim for you, and we want to go through the different circumstances in which that's going to happen so that you don't get worried that your rewards disappeared. So you see that AJ did have pending rewards, and now that he remodified his position, they're all gone. If you can go back to the battery tab.
Yeah, that's a great point, LA. Again, I didn't do that on purpose, but that was a great happy accident here. So again, I know you're probably a bit delayed on the YouTube page,
Oh,
but
am I?
yeah, because I went to split my position and I canceled the pending sale I had. That will trigger the at the claim on your battery. So again, just be aware of that. Unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do about that because it has to be what we call fair accounting. And because when I claim that, again, now you can see my ownership went from 0.9% to 0.1, I'm sorry, 0.09% to 0.1%. That, again, determines the rewards I'm getting. So whenever there's a function, whether it's splitting your position or claiming for batteries manually or even depositing again as a sacrifice, all of those actions will auto claim your rewards.
Yes. And then if it comes to BBEing, like say you don't have any batteries or you don't have any active batteries and the rewards have been accruing in your BBE section, it will be the same thing, except it will be auto compounded for you. So if you deposit again, if you all of a sudden activate a battery, but you hadn't BBE'd first, you know, if you take any of those types of actions, but you had pending rewards, they have to do something. They're not going to be there when you get back. They're going to auto compound for you if it's in your BBE, or they're going to auto claim for you if it's in your battery. So the quickest way to verify this is to take your wallet address, plug it into DeBank, go to your transactions tab, and you'll see that that has happened. We did this a lot in testing and verified, and it always shows up there. So that is the quickest way. No matter how much impending rewards you had, it will show up there that it has claimed for you if you take those certain actions. Because like AJ said, it has to complete those in order to have good accounting.
Yep, perfect, LA. And again, we're looking into ways that we can maybe make that easier on the user, especially, a way to display what's been paid out in rewards. But if you look on chain, you'll be able to see that everything happens. Again, there is no edge case other, than that is only happening for you and not for somebody else. So, and again, if for whatever reason you still feel like it was a problem, please reach out in any of our socials, and one of our admins can help you. Again, just never give them your private key. Nobody will ask for money. Never connect to a different website. All of the above. Disclaimer, disclaimer. So.
Yes. And just a reminder about how batteries work at the moment. They have an unlimited capacity, these MVP batteries. They are a special bonus for early adopters. So the energy accruing in your batteries, as soon as you hit that $15 minimum threshold, you may claim from them. But if you don't want to claim from it yet, when it hits that $15 threshold, you can leave it as long as you want before you claim. So you could leave it. I mean, you could be like Florida Joe and go on 3 cruises in a row and just leave it, accruing in there for a month if you want to, and come back and have, a juicy few $100 in there, claim it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and to that point as well, again, this energy, because it's not mENERGY, this energy also correlates with the price of Eshare. So there is some additional game theory that maybe, again, not financial advice, or it depends on your personal strategies, but you may want to let your energy build up, wait for the price of Eshare to go up, and then claim in that manner as well. So again, I'm just pointing out all the amazing different strategies that the community will come up with, and that's part of the fun of this game, right, LA? Yeah.
Yes, that's actually a really good point. We had some questions in the chat saying I had $11 in rewards earlier, and now I only have $10.90. What happened? So it's really important that if you are watching your rewards, to watch the amount in energy, because the dollar amount is based on the price of Eshare, because Eshare and energy are 1-in-1 with each other. And so the dollar value will go up and down as the price of Eshare goes up and down. So like AJ said, if Eshare is pumping, that might be a good time to claim your rewards. Another thing I wanted to mention, which could be somewhat confusing, is that just because it's an ETH cash out battery, there's no ETH in that battery. It's energy that's in that battery. So when that energy gets cashed out, that eShare is purchasing that ETH for you. And so it also could be a very bullish strategy to time your cash outs around the ETH price too, and based
Yes.
on the ratio between the Eshare and the ETH price.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, another awesome point. And again, I know all of us are gonna be here well into the bull market, and so maybe when we get into the later states of the bull market, and Ethereum's at $8,000 or $10,000, then the USDT battery becomes a lot more attractive because you're cashing out your rewards at the top. And again, that would apply to eShare as well. Maybe by then eShare is, a couple of $100 or more. And so again, like LA said, you can also speculate on the cash outs of each battery price as well, in their native assets.
Yeah, absolutely. All
Cool.
right. So let's move on to, I think that's it for showing the UI if you wanted to go back to looking at your notes.
Yeah, all right, awesome.
Um,
Then we'll wrap it up here. Let me pull up my notes, and if there's anything else I need to come back to, I will. But yeah, give me one more second.
yeah, I think next we're going to talk about the legacy contract migrations.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if you want to get started. Give me one more second.
Yeah, so basically all this week we're going to be one by one migrating the legacy contracts. And basically, in a nutshell, just in a very simplified manner, what that means is we're prepping them so that the claims from the contracts will automatically sacrifice into Fusion as opposed to in your wallet. So the nodes, the DAAS contracts, the Sentinels, the Defenders, until we migrate those contracts, any claims that are made from them will go into your wallet. And the reason we ultimately decided to do this is because, as opposed to doing them all at the same time when the devs were extremely tired after not sleeping for a few days in a row during, this launch sequence, this is just so much of a safer process to do it over a, week-long period, one day at a time, one contract at a time. It's just night and day, so much safer, and safety will always be the number one priority for us as a team and for the entire community and the protocol as a whole.
Yeah, 100%. So again, and we also had to wait for Fusion to be live anyway. We couldn't do this ahead of time because of the way the contracts interact. So again, we'll be giving everybody updates as we go. With this though, rewards will be paused for about one day on each of the contracts. So just be aware of that. Again, there's nothing we can do about that. In order to migrate, we have to shut off the old rewards and then re-enable everything under the new system that will automatically claim into the microgrid. So and we do this for safety reasons and just to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. Yeah, I think that again covers a lot of what LA said. And even again, if you're not happy with EMP, again, I know we still get a lot of haters around those legacy contracts. We're not handcuffing anybody. You can claim your nodes or your Sentinel rewards or your DAAS rewards or detonator itself. You claim into uh, your microgrid, and then you can sell your microgrid. So obviously you have to buy a battery, but the idea is that you're able to cash out way more through selling your position than what you would do not participating. And again, I think people will change their mind once they see they're able to earn rewards. And this is fundamentally important because we're eliminating the sell pressure on those contracts. And so by doing that, it will hopefully revitalize uh, those rewards to begin with. And so, not to get too much in the weeds, but we have plans for all of that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. What next?
The Eshare farm.
Okay. I know you've been talking to devs a lot on this. It's going to be a planned rollout. You want to go through that real quick, LA, and then I'll elaborate?
Yeah, so I know obviously we plan to open the eShare farm at launch, and some of you were a little bit upset about this not happening. We did have to make the decision to leave the farm locked until it was safe to do so, mainly to avoid having the risk of flash loan attacks during launch. We are getting everything ready to have it unlocked. We have been, adding the ability to sacrifice your eShare along the way as that's been happening, just so there's more options for you. You can expect it to be unlocked in the next 24 to 48 hours. We do apologize for the inconvenience. And as kind of an extra bonus, we do plan to extend the early sacrifice bonus for one more day when the farm is unlocked, so none of you have to miss out on the bonus.
Yep, perfect. And again, I mean, like Ella said, not only is it a safety issue, but again, when all that eShare is unlocked, we want to give people something to do with it. And, being able to sacrifice your eShare directly into the central grid to get your microgrid ownership is what a lot of people want to do. And yeah, I mean, and even if you're waiting for your eShare to unlock just to sell it, you're only going to hurt yourself because the price impact will be absolutely massive. So when that does unlock, again, as a shout out to all the other community members, I would definitely keep my eye on the eShare price because you may be able to get some eShare at ridiculously low values in the short term if we do get some dumpers. But yeah, it's super bullish no matter how you look at it.
And just a reminder for anyone who is thinking about, selling their eShare when the farm unlocks, if you are an investor in Fusion, just remember that the emissions portion of the APRs in Fusion is heavily affected by the eShare price. And the more that we can work together as a community on getting the eShare price up, the better the APRs in Fusion will be. And so, if you are an investor in Fusion and you want the APRs to be high, but then simultaneously you're selling all your eShare, you're really, shooting yourself in your foot because, you're making money on one side and you're losing money on the other.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, that will be much less of a problem as we move forward. I mean, that was the whole idea of getting rid of the prisoner's dilemma of worrying about people dumping on our heads and really putting all that economic value into the EMP Fusion as a whole anyway. And the main thing with that is the real revenue. So even though we get volatility and potential buying and selling, on eShare, just from speculation, there will always be that real revenue in the background buying eShare, before rewarding it to the community. So it is a game of attrition where over time, just like EMP, and again, EMP is a little bit different because it's a supply cap token, and obviously PEG is the number one priority at the moment. But once we're back at PEG, everything is healthy on that front. The ecosystems, again, in absolute fully recovered mode, then all the resources can be driven towards keeping the price of eShare healthy as well. And again, like LA said, as a community, we also want to monitor and make sure that is something we're doing because that also affects the APRs in the short term.
There's also going to be a lot more that you can do with your eShare. So we have a lot of future utility plan for eShare, not only within Fusion, but outside of Fusion. But within Fusion, there's a lot more batteries that are coming in the near future that you're going to be able to purchase with your mENERGY. Not only with partner protocols, but for our own protocol to add a lot more utility. we are going to be switching over the microgrid buying process to be done with Eshare. There's going to be a lot more you can do with your Eshare. So buying those power packs is going to become more and more of a no-brainer. And so hanging on to some of your Eshare or all of your Eshare is going to, seem like a no-brainer when you understand all of the utility that is being planned for the near future when it comes to Eshare.
Yep, no doubt. And if to further that point too, we said all along, and we have some mega announcements coming in the next few weeks once we have all the actual data to share. But we'll be buying and burning eShare as well. And I think when people realize how much eShare is being burned, even though for the next 6 months, eShare, is still inflationary. I think after that, with all the volume and transactions, we're always buying and burning eShare as well. And eShare is such a low circulating or total supply. Um, Even now, I mean, again, other tokens that only have 50K worth of tokens are hundreds of dollars. All right, what's next?
A lot of people today were asking, and I thought it'd be a great topic for today, but why getting back to peg matters. So I thought we should discuss it again.
All right, yes, sorry, I'm muted here. All right, LA, can you go over this part? I'm starting to lose my voice. Give me 1 second. Let me get a drink.
Okay. I'm hoping that you'll take over because you're a lot better at this part than I am. But I'm going to go over my part, and then I'm going to let you go over the ETH part. But my part that I want to focus on is the amazing marketing opportunity that this is bringing as we are getting back to peg, as the EMP price is going up, as the peg is going up. We are doing this massive AMA run. And, these outside communities are not used to seeing this kind of chart and this kind of comeback on a protocol that is 2.5 years old, especially not a tomb fork. That is unheard of. Um, excuse me. And, this story that we are building, and like, I don't even want to call it a story because it's not a fairy tale. This is like it's a nonfiction. It is a very true story that we're building. Um, of this DeFi protocol that is 2.5 years old, survived the bear market, survived a million hurdles, and built all through this very turbulent time in the market, and built this incredibly innovative protocol and launched it, got back to peg, which, as far as we know, is the only time this has ever happened. It is just such an incredible story to highlight that is going to really catch a lot of eyes and a lot of attention. And it's going to be very easy to spread that news far and wide across crypto circles and DeFi circles, especially as we're doing 22 more AMAs in just the next 9 days or so. And then we're going to have a whole second wave of AMAs coming a few weeks later. We've been in talks with people to help us do some PR and additional kind of larger scale marketing campaigns and advertising campaigns. These are the kind of things that are great for PR campaigns, these type of comeback stories. I mean, it's just incredible. So the amazing marketing opportunity that when we pull up the UI on all of these AMAs and they see the EMP charts and the pegs rising, it is just, it couldn't be any better. So, but AJ has
For
a
sure.
whole other part I'm going to go over as well.
Yep, no doubt. I'm back. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat, even more so than usual. So all right. Yes, again, like I was saying, peg and why getting back to peg matters. It matters on a bunch of different levels. Number one, everything that LA said from a marketing standpoint, from the feather in our cap, in terms of building an economic model that is actually working. I mean, all of that is huge. But on top of that, we want to make EMP Fusion and EMP as a whole more sustainable moving forward. And so what happens is we are able to build deep protocol-owned liquidity when we get back to peg, and we haven't even begun to really remove the liquidity like we've planned, because people are buying up back to peg regardless. And so the fact that we can have healthy reserves is super important. But again, we want to remove that liquidity to avoid any swing traders. And then once we're at peg, we are able to add that back, and that really provides an amazing floor that we not only regain peg, but then we're able to maintain peg. And we do that. Oh, excuse me. We do that with our deep liquidity bond to actual Ethereum. So again, by being pegged 4,000 to 1, if we add the majority of that liquidity back at that ratio, it will maintain at that ratio because number one, again, the way LPs work, it helps harden the price. But number two, there won't be any more EMP left for people to essentially dump. And even if there is, then we as a community and a protocol can buy that EMP and sacrifice it into Fusion. And so again, over the short future, we're able to basically lock away that EMP, and it becomes way less of a problem, for us to maintain that peg. And so once we have all the EMP within Fusion, the outside liquidity really doesn't matter anymore because there is no more EMP, and we're able to maintain the value of peg because all the EMP is still represented inside of the microgrids. So again, if you're if EMP or I'm sorry, if ETH goes up to $2,000, then that carries the value of your EMP into $2 range instead of a $1 range. So you still get the exposure to Ethereum moving up. Now, will people maybe sell their microgrids for less? Yeah, maybe, but again, the yield will be so good that others will just be there to buy your microgrid from you, and we get to a point where we're just a private investment community just earning from the real yield every single day. So, all right, does that help, LA? You want me to go into
I
anything
love
else?
that vision and continuing to paint that picture for our emperors so that more and more people can share that vision with us. I love
For
it.
sure. Yeah,
To me.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
All right, yeah, I
There.
think you covered everything else in that section, but again, just one last thing too, obviously with swing traders, just be prepared for that. I mean, we've done our best to educate everybody. There will be dumpers along the way, and it's up to us as a community, to buy that EMP at a discount. And, the more that we do that, both, like I said, as a protocol and as a community, then we no longer have a problem in the future, and we just continue to earn without ever worrying about people dumping the price of EMP.
Yeah, and I just want to say as well, obviously you heard us speaking a lot about the potential of swing traders before we launched, and although we haven't seen a ton of it yet, we are still expecting it to happen. So we want to continue to speak about it before it potentially happens so that you can get yourself mentally prepared to see some volatility on the charts. Because although days like today are fantastic to see the chart booming and going upwards, it is, inevitable that at some point between now and the time we reach peg, or at the moment we reach peg, that we are going to have some people who potentially bought on the way up, doing some swing trading. And we just want you to know that we fully expected that and fully baked it into our plans and our peg recovery strategy, full well knowing that there would be these people. So we're fully prepared for it, and we just want all of you to be fully mentally prepared for it so that you're not getting emotional when you see volatility on the charts, because it is absolutely all part of the process, and it's a really good indication that we're on the right track and that we are building the success that we're after, because they wouldn't be doing it, if we weren't, heading in the right direction. They wouldn't waste their time or their money. So
Yep, 100%. Great, great. Well said, LA. And yeah, we have a full plan for all that. Again, not only as a protocol, but as a community. And I know a lot of whales that, again, they still have money on the sideline waiting for those dips. So, just again, prepare yourself for that. There is no situation, even moving forward that, there's enough EMP left, I think, that can really impact the protocol at this point. And now that over 50% of all the EMP in existence is already in Fusion or accounted for. I mean, that is again proof in the pudding that everything we're saying is coming to life.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to cover before we head into questions?
Nope, I think that'll do it. Let's go ahead and get into questions. I do have another meeting, so hopefully we can get through all of this in about the next 20 minutes or so. But yeah, I'm happy to stick around. Go ahead, Ellie. We'll jump right in.
Let's do a turbo round because there's about 20 of them.
All right, good deal. Well, I think we
On
covered
Discord
a lot,
alone.
but all right, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Will the MVP batteries be burned or replaced when the full version of Fusion gets released?
Yeah, so again, the goal is that we will probably just replace them. Again, those that got in, early, we don't want to necessarily make you buy another battery all over again. But if we do replace them, they will be the new version that you will eventually either need to upgrade or buy again if we implement the lifespan on the batteries. But yeah, we'll again, if we technically speaking, if we can do it, we will credit you, another battery outside the MVP.
Awesome. Do we have an estimate for how long these special batteries will be good for? I'm thinking about using the BBE for a month or so I want to make sure it would be worth it to buy a battery.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think BBE needs to be the #1 priority in the beginning. Again, not financial advice. So that being said, it wouldn't matter the timeline on the new batteries because you just want a BBE until we are back at peg. So, but I mean, again, we always get in trouble for giving timelines, but we're working on it actively for the next rollout.
You guys mentioned liquidity being low for Eshare. Is this just the case now, or will it always be that way?
Yeah, so again, we are being really strategic with this, especially with the unlocking of Eshare in happening. But ultimately, I mean, we will have to add at least a little bit more liquidity than what there is now, especially as the volume on Eshare increases. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it better to have all the Eshare in your wallet changed into mENERGY now, or keep some in your wallet to sell later?
I mean, again, that's a total personal decision. Obviously, just remember if you're converting your eShare into mENERGY, that is at the dollar value. So again, if you think eShare is going to go up, then I would definitely not convert all of your eShare to mENERGY, and then speculate on the price of eShare, going up in the long term. But those sort of questions are not questions that we can really answer.
Awesome. Will we ever be able to cash out our mENERGY, or will it always be used to buy batteries and things from the marketplace?
Yep.
So when they say cash out, they mean into blue chips or stables.
Nope. mENERGY is the in-game or in-app currency and is not therefore exchangeable in any way other than buying what's in the marketplace or additional utility batteries. So the short answer is no.
Second part of the question, will we ever be able to use it to buy more EMP to enlarge our position?
No. You will need to, again, either buy a battery that will earn you rewards and then use that to cash out, or BBE. But no, you can't just use your mENERGY to build your position.
Mm-hmm. How long off are you on adding the stats page to the site to display info on external revenue streams?
Yeah, that's gonna be a while. I mean, again, we're working as fast as we can, but that is not on the top of the priority list. But we'll get there. So maybe, again, I'm not gonna give timelines, and if people are looking for timelines, I can't help you because no matter what, we always, are held to those, even when we just talk about it, speculatively. So the answer is soon.
Are the rewards in Fusion based on the dollar amount staked or the EMP ETH balance within?
Okay. So there is no more EMP ETH. Again, it's a single asset staking. So your microgrid represents EMP only. But the value of what you're earning is tied to the price of Eshare. So the energy, again, Eshare is energy, and just like with the traditional farms, your APR is a lot higher if the price of Eshare is higher. So, does that answer, LA? Sorry, I don't know if I did.
Not sure. On the amount staked or the EMP ETH balance within. Not 100% sure.
Okay, if that person doesn't feel like we answered, they can ask on Thursday.
Okay. Will there be a Spritz battery?
Oh man, I like this question. Again, we have a great relationship with Spritz. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but yeah, I mean, we're definitely interested in trying to add, both off and on ramp options right into the protocol. Obviously, for regulatory reasons, we can't do that on our own. But we can absolutely partner with a registered company like Spritz. So yeah, there might be some future alpha around that, and then yeah, a battery that would maybe automatically cash out through your Spritz account. I mean, we have a lot of cool ways we could implement the API.
Amazing. You mentioned you might have to turn off the BBE once the EMP is mostly sacrificed into Fusion. What would happen if at the time the energy rewards in your BBE section had filled up, but then you couldn't BBE?
Oh man, I love it. These people are getting so specific on things that aren't even going to be an issue right now. But yeah, yeah. The short answer is, you know, if for whatever that was the case, I mean, I guess we would just pay out the very minimal EMP left from the treasury. But there would never be a situation where, you're not getting credit. And it would be something that we would, announce way ahead of time, and most likely we would turn BBE off way before there was a potential that literally nothing was left to buy or convert.
I love that thought process, though.
Yeah, I know they're getting super specific.
If your energy rewards depend on your share of the central grid, oh yeah, so we already talked about this with the stuff with whales. So we're going to skip this one because I already kind of remembered that they asked this question and kind of covered that topic earlier.
Okay.
Do you have a time estimate on Detonator V3 changes being implemented?
Yeah, so the migration will happen, this week, hopefully. The original goal was to implement the migration and V3 at the same time. In all honesty, I haven't confirmed that with the devs at this point. But I will, and we'll know. We can answer that on Thursday. But if it's not included in the migration, then it will be very shortly thereafter because V3 is pretty much finished from a coding perspective. So the goal is that both will happen either at the exact same time or very shortly in between.
Yes. To be quite frank, I am kind of a little bit glad that there is a little bit of a separation between the two, because we have an opportunity to educate everyone on Fusion first, and then V3 is going to take a whole separate educating on how all that works. So it's nice to have just like a tiny break between the two to get everyone used to how Fusion works and then get everyone used to how V3 works.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah. I noticed the marketplace does not show a history of sacrifice points that have been sold so far. Will that be added in the trade history UI?
Oh, that's a good question. I honestly, we didn't have the ability to really test that until we were live, but I'm assuming all that data is tracked. LA, can you make a note of that? That's a really great question. We'll find out for you for the next AMA. And if that isn't implemented, then yes, we will absolutely add a little more history.
Yeah, for this particular user made a few good suggestions, and I did actually add a couple of them to the notes that weren't really needed to be asked as questions on the AMA, but were more like just better to add directly to the notes for the devs. So if you're listening and you don't hear part of what you wrote, it's because I just directly added it to our notes.
Amazing. Yeah, and shout out to that person. Again, we're one of the only DeFi protocols that we will absolutely listen to everybody's feedback and implement changes that could be helpful to everybody. So thank you to that person.
um, would like to see the order history of recently sold microgrids of other users. Is it possible that this could be added to the marketplace?
Yeah, so that would again fall under the data category. Again, I'm not sure why that person would need to know that, but again, if that's what people want, we're happy to implement that as long as we can. And I know too, a lot of people have been asking for a leaderboard on the largest ownership positions. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing that we again are hoping to add just for the flex that
Mm-hmm.
goes with it. So for sure.
And then the last one, add advanced filters like filter by price per sac, lowest to highest, highest to lowest, etc., and filter by sac points amount in the marketplace for the microgrids.
Yep. Again, totally doable. Yes, that will be something, and we are working on making it a little more obvious on what microgrids are appropriate based on market value. So yeah, that again is all great feedback. And again, I don't mean to sound frustrated, but we have to just get through the next few weeks after we built this whole monster. And just please be patient with us as we add these things. But yeah, if it's not getting done, please remind us that that's something the community wants for sure.
Awesome. Okay, so um, how can we see our point history, purchases, and expenditures of mENERGY? That data has to be kept in EMP Fusion somewhere. I want to keep track of the points just like I do for tokens and coins. Also, same question for energy transactions.
Yeah, so again, I mean, yes, I'm sure that is tracked. That would just be, some sort of a, you know, uh, uh, database, for lack of a better word, that we need to publish. So we can add that to some potential additions for sure.
Awesome. Please, can you explain how sacrifice points are calculated?
Yeah, so again, it's pretty straightforward. They are based on EMP at current value. So again, just remember you're getting way more sacrifice points using sacrificing EMP or EMP related assets because of the peg bonus. But if you're just buying, EMP, or if you're just sacrificing, say, a stable token, then it's calculated at just EMP at market value. Does that help, LA?
Yep. And following on from that are the amount of sacrifice points a person has used to calculate their percentage share of the central grid.
Yes, so again, we're accounting EMP 1 for 1 with EMP that is held within the microgrid, and that is based on sacrifice points. So the short answer is yes, you will never have more sacrifice points than what EMP is, fully diluted.
Awesome. Question for BBE rewards. If there are rewards in the BBE waiting to be activated, and you sack more or you activate a new battery without BBEing first, do the unclaimed BBE rewards automatically compound, or are they returned to the treasury or something else? They do not wait in the BBE space for the cash out battery to be deactivated. So you saw us cover that earlier. If your rewards are waiting, if your rewards are accruing in the BBE section, and then you do anything like deposit more or activate a battery or any of those things, it will be auto compounded for you. It will not wait there for you.
Yep, perfect.
Awesome. Will there be an auto cash out battery? Would love the convenience of having the rewards be auto cashed out directly to wallet without having to manually claim.
Yeah, so again, that is a little bit tricky because you still have to pay for the gas transaction. So my short answer is probably not, but we could maybe get creative utilizing the Dex Finance auto vault technology where we would have like a combined battery that would automatically compound everybody or cash out everybody on a certain schedule. And then, we as a protocol would either pay for the gas or it would be distributed between all the users. But again, on the top of my head, that sounds like it's probably not possible. But I'll look into it for sure. And yeah, I mean, there may be other ways we can get around that and accomplish the same goal that, if you have a battery, a utility battery, that would just have the rewards show up in your wallet without having to do anything. That might be an expensive battery because that's a very convenient to do, but yeah, we can definitely brainstorm on that.
Awesome. It's going to be really fun to come up with the additional batteries that we put into the marketplace.
Yeah,
And
no
I think
doubt.
a lot of ideas from you guys, and it's going to be really neat.
Yeah, totally. Well, even now, that's a great point. Again, we're trying to wrap it up here, but all of you that may be in other communities, like Ellie said earlier, we've alluded to maybe, an elephant or a trunk token. Obviously, in the beginning, it is much easier for us if it's a token based on BSC. But if you're in another community that would like permanent buying pressure under token, definitely start reaching out to us. Obviously, there has to be a minimum amount of volume, minimum amount of liquidity. Um, we would really only want established projects, so don't, launch a token and then suggest that token. But yeah, if there's a big community and we have liquidity, then we are absolutely excited to start adding partner batteries ASAP for sure.
Hell yeah. It will be very interesting if we could sacrifice our sparkler positions as well as spark into EMP Fusion. Can that be made possible?
Yeah, so again, we're trying to keep both protocols separate, and we really never ever suggest, liquidating your positions in other protocols to get into, our new release because you're really, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And although rewards have been down in Sparkler, that really is just because of the Pulse price. Again, Pulse has just continued to bleed it out. Um, but we highlighted this actually on the Dow King AMA. Our volume on SparkSwap is still really damn good. I mean, I think our overall volume today was about 500K, 24-hour volume. So again, even though it seems like, it's not as attractive at the moment, it all goes in waves. And, we're hoping that with the recovery on Pulse, that, rewards are incredible, just like we had been experiencing. And again, I mean, not financial advice, but, it's much better to kind of get involved in new protocols with outside capital rather than, trying to chase the APR, especially when it's all under our same umbrella. So,
Yeah, and especially since SparkSwap is one of the largest revenue streams for Fusion. And so you don't want to do anything that's going to hurt SparkSwap,
for sure.
especially if it means like selling your Spark for EMP or cashing out your Spark PLS positions, which would lower the liquidity um, you know, uh, in the protocol, which we need for the bridge and the swap and all that stuff. So it's really important to keep, your Spark and your SDI positions healthy for those reasons. And, both for your Sparkler position and for your Fusion position, because, once you're in Sparkler for those, whatever 4 or 5 months and you ROI, remember that that's just pure profit for the next however many years, whether it's a year, whether it's 5 years, whether it's, another 9.5 years. That is pure profit. And we plan to be around for a long time. And we plan to add, more different chains that we're bridging to, and every single one of those creates revenue for Sparkler and for Fusion. And so it's very important to take care of your positions in the different protocols, and only get into these protocols with outside funds, because taking care of one really helps your position in the others. So
Yep, they're great, all great points. And last but not least, again, we've alluded to this on other AMAs, but eventually we're going to be getting rid of the inflation on Spark altogether. And so it would really stink to, sell or sacrifice your Spark at what we feel is pretty much the bottom. Again, not financial advice, but once we transition to the V3 model on Pulse Chain, that eliminates the inflation on Spark. Um, and then again, the same sort of concept of EMP Fusion. The only way to get involved in Sparkler would be to buy Spark off the market. So, we have a very specific game plan for every protocol and every part of each individual protocol that we are doing all at the same time. So, it's like, what at the circus, the plate spinner. We're spinning all of these plates, but there's no chance of them, crashing on the floor. They just all make the other plates spin even faster. So there you go. How about that analogy, LA? So,
love it, love it. You just have that many arms that they can just all spin
exactly.
perfectly.
Yeah, we're like a damn octopus over here.
Yes. Maybe our next protocol will be octopus themed.
Yes, there you go.
Will the Fusion microgrid ever be visible on DeBank?
Yeah, so I saw that question earlier today. I mean, I know of other unverified protocols that do have the representation on there. So yeah, I mean, let me look into it. I know Dex Finance guys, they have a great relationship with DeBank. So the answer is maybe, and most likely yes. But I'll find out.
If and when all the EMP is off the market, how will DAAS be able to increase our microgrids?
Yeah, so again, this is again part of the game theory, and at that point, we may have to just migrate DOS products into Fusion. And again, that was a reason why we didn't want to do it too early because we don't want to dilute everybody. But there could be a way to kind of give credit based on a very specific formula. And again, we have plenty of EMP that we own that there would never be a situation where there would be more EMP credited than what there is in existence. But all of that again is part of the flywheel, and maybe we do have just enough EMP in circulation that it only goes into detonator because that is the most profitable thing to do with your EMP other than sacrifice it. So again, there's a lot of unanswered questions that we don't
Hmm.
even really know yet. But the cool part is no matter what, we are all winning in that situation. So
For sure. And the name of the game to consider is that there's a lot of different options and ideas that we're considering, and nothing is set in stone yet. So try your best not to create specific expectations about what is to come,
for
and
sure.
just wait for further information in the near future. When can we expect the full version of Fusion when batteries will no longer have unlimited capacities? Popular question.
Yep. So I'm sorry, what was the first part of that?
When can we expect the full version of Fusion
Oh,
when
when?
batteries
Okay, yeah. All
no
right.
longer,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I got it. I didn't know if they said what or when. So, yeah, again, I know everybody wants when. The short answer is on the roadmap. We're working towards it, as fast as we can. But don't again, right now you're getting unlimited battery capacity. So don't just enjoy the reward and the bonus that you're getting right now. Again, I think it's funny that people don't take the time to celebrate. So right now, celebrate your unlimited battery capacity and just know that eventually it will, probably go away. But again, I mean, we're talking at least a couple of weeks at the very, very, very minimum. So just keep that in mind.
Just think of it like an ice cream shop, and they have this big sign in the window that said, for a limited time, free sprinkles. Don't go into the shop and the first thing you say is, excuse me, sir, what is the free sprinkle promotion over?
Exactly. I love it.
Just
Yes.
say, I want a big cone, sir. Extra sprinkles.
Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. I love it.
Another food analogy. I apologize. It's always before dinner when we do these AMAs.
Yeah.
um, uh, is BBE the best thing we can do to help get back to peg?
Yeah. I mean, again, not financial advice, but not only is it the best thing you can do while we're trying to recover pay, again, keyword is not trying, but while we are actually doing it in front of your eyes, yeah, I mean, again, it is the best thing for the protocol and to recover peg. However, it's also the best thing for you as a participant in Fusion. Again, because of that peg bonus, um, you're getting the maximum amount of rewards. Again, even in terms of APR, because of the bonus, you're getting a way higher APR doing BBE because, again, you're getting those bonuses. So, yeah, I would say, 100% if you have a long-term vision at EMP and you want to be here and you want to build your ownership of Fusion overall, then BBE is a no-brainer, at least for the very first, few weeks, months, whatever it might be.
Currently, are all of the rewards being added or just some of them?
Yeah, so again, it is a a manual process. When I say manual, it's still done through smart contracts, but we have to be really careful because again, we don't want to be front run you know, there's a lot still behind the scenes that we have to, automate, so to speak, but do it in a way that we don't run into potential problems. So the short answer is, that rewards are being added, but it's not necessarily in real time as of yet. So again, I don't know if that answered the question, but we're allocating rewards in a very specific manner at the moment.
Yeah, and as you recall, we did have some reserves that we had been building, as
Exactly.
opposed to plunking them all in there at once. We are dispersing them, over a set period of time so that it is more gradual and fair for users who are getting in over these first few weeks.
Yeah,
Or I don't know the set period of time, but
yeah, and again, I mean, we said it all along, APR will stabilize. It will not be 1,000%. It will be a very healthy APR that is sustainable and that we can rely on, moving forward. And so, this is not a get rich overnight scheme. This is building your bags right now to reap the rewards, moving into the bull run and beyond. Again, I mean, we are going to be here for literally, we talk about it all the time. Our roadmap is 10 years. I mean, we're not going anywhere, and now just focus on getting in while you still can, not financial advice.
yeah, and then we have an opportunity to, stabilize everything, get back to peg, get the Eshare price healthy again, and have everyone really well educated, create this flywheel, and then we can focus on continuing to add more and more revenue streams. And that makes Fusion more and more of having more and more of a solid foundation because it has additional revenue streams from additional sources flowing into it, and we're never going to stop adding more and more to it. So in regards to revenue streams, to make it more and more healthy. So
Totally. Well, and again, just on that note as well, we say it time and time again, but there is not an AMA that goes by that I don't say it at least once, and that is never invest more than you can afford. So if you've invested and you are worried about the APR and you're freaking out that you may not get your rewards every 6 hours and it's every 24 hours instead, um, that probably means that you maybe went a little bit too heavy. So always, space out your investment. Read other people's, comments in the community, learn about the protocol, and then slowly, DCA in over time. So the whole idea is that it's not meant to be stressful. The idea is that you build a home base in the mothership of EMP Fusion, and you get those reliable passive income returns that you can then use to speculate on, your meme coins or go into other projects, or maybe all those other projects, are not as good as the returns you're getting with EMP Fusion. So then you just add more at that point. So again, just please be aware that if you're feeling emotional about the protocol, you may have invested too much, or maybe you just gotta look at the bigger picture of what we're building for sure.
for sure. On that note, do you expect the rewards to go up or down from here?
Yeah, so again, in terms of APR, I expect that APR to go down. In terms of real yield, obviously I think with ETH going up and volumes on all the chains going up, I absolutely think the actual real yield will increase because we're building other protocols, we're building more features into Fusion itself. And that being said, the rewards will go up. Now, again, there's still a lot of EMP on the market that has to enter. So there will be some short-term dilution as well. Again, until we get all the EMP in existence into Fusion, you are gonna have to compete to keep up your ownership percentage. But once we're at peg, once there's really no EMP left, then literally it's just a perpetual cycle of more and more yield and more rewards generated over the same amount of people, which again means more rewards for each person.
Yeah, and that being said, once we get the Eshare up to a very healthy level, at least for the emissions portion of the rewards, that has a very beneficial effect on the APRs. Not for the external revenue sources, but for the emissions portion, the Eshare prices has a large effect on it. So once we get it back up to
For sure.
healthy level, that's going to have a very healthy effect on the APRs.
Yep, 100%.
So 2 more questions. Oh no, that question we already answered. So we're going to skip that one. Can we please have the peg box put onto the Fusion site?
Yeah, so the peg value, yeah, we talked about maybe adding other metrics at the top right there, that shows your EMP and eShare value. So yeah, maybe add that to the list, LA, of making it easier for sure. But yeah, that's a good question. I know I'd like to be able to see that without other windows open, so.
All right. I think there's probably a ton of questions in the YouTube, but do we have time to find them and answer them, or do you have to go, or where are we at?
Yeah, so I do need to go, but maybe if we do just a lightning round in the live chat, I don't know, I didn't see any that we hadn't already covered. So,
I haven't been looking at them because I was looking at the ones on my list, so I will have to fish them out.
okay. All right, it's up to you. I have time if you want to do it and run through it. If not, then we can wrap it up.
Hey, LA, question on microgrid purchasing. I know the math is coming, but right now, would you and or AJ say the value of one SAC point is? One SAC point is one EMP.
Correct. At market value.
What else? So what happens to all the EMPs still sitting waiting to be granted in nodes if there's no more EMP on the market?
Yeah, so again, we haven't really discussed the future plans with nodes, but we are working on a solution that would help that. So the short answer is you'll be able to claim that EMP into your microgrid, for the foreseeable future. And again, that eventually all the EMP in nodes would enter into the central grid. But we're looking at other options too. So just, you know, once the upgrades are made, just claim your EMP from nodes and build your microgrid. Or again, if you don't want to do that, you can just claim into your microgrid and sell them on the secondary market.
Would the team consider giving a benefit to sitting on a stack of mENERGY, maybe a boosted APR, or let you stake it for yield? Any reason why that would be a bad idea?
Yeah, that's a bad idea. Sorry. Yeah, again, we don't want to artificially give yield because the money has to come from somewhere, and it really doesn't benefit the protocol for people to be sitting on large amounts of mENERGY. Again, it's just a matter of your own personal choice. And if you do have a large amount of mENERGY, then you're good to go, for whatever you may need to buy moving forward. So, yeah.
I'm assuming split my position batteries don't count for DAAS or nodes. No, they don't.
Well, they would. I mean, I don't know what that question really is, but you
It
will be.
means you can't split apart your DAAS position right now.
Oh,
He's saying.
yeah. No. I mean, yes, that is correct. So, but if you're claiming from your DOS or nodes and it goes into your microgrid, then you could buy a split my position and just sell those again if you
Yeah.
want to get out.
Yeah, I think the question was asking if you can sell off part of your DOS, like if your
Yeah.
detonator
No,
position,
that is
though.
not an option. Yeah.
What would be a good strategy if you're heavily invested in Detonator?
I mean, really the only strategy that you have at this point, and that is either to, speculate on Detonator recovering and, building your ownership in Detonator, or hoping to win the largest depositor or, lottery in Detonator, or just claiming in the strategy, the 5-2, 5 days compound, 2 days claim, and just applying it to your microgrid.
Mm-hmm. A couple people did point out that there is a max limit of 999 sacrifice points that can be purchased at one time in one transaction in the marketplace. So I wanted to let you know that I did already file a ticket with our devs on that issue. So they are in the process of working on expanding that so that you could buy an entire position if you wanted to. So that is already reported and they are aware of it. So just to let you know, because I saw a comment about that.
All right, yeah, so I'm sorry, just to clarify, that is just with microgrids, correct?
Just
Yeah,
microgrids,
because
yes.
I know somebody sacrificed, about 1 million EMP, and that went through no problem. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, just microgrids. There's just a maximum of 999 that you could purchase at one time on microgrids at this moment for some reason.
Okay.
So we need to work on getting it expanded. And so they're aware of it now and they're going to be working on it.
Okay.
What would cause the detonator daily burst to go up with Fusion running?
Yeah, so again, Detonator is a speculative ROI contract that is a game, and so the whole idea is that as we recover PEG, that now the payouts are a lot more attractive, and on top of that, it actually allows people to speculate on getting more sacrifice points by going into Detonator rather than sacrificing directly. Now, again, we can't predict the future, so we don't know if this is the case. Um, we just have to let everything play out. So yeah, I mean, but there could be a big argument for that, especially with the updated economics in V3 that really eliminate a lot of the selling pressure or claiming pressure from those contracts. So I don't know if you want to add to that, LA, but
No, I think you got it. I don't really have too much more to add to that.
okay.
If we hit the claim button on Detonator, will the EMP ETH LP automatically get sacrificed? Today, no, it won't. But once we go through the migration, yes, it will.
Yep, perfect.
Can you combine BBE and battery, half to BBE? No, but we are hoping in the near future that we have added that option, kind of like the allocations in the battery that you could do that sort of thing. If you increase your microgrid size, does it reset your batteries? Yes. Hopefully you saw us go through that part and you asked this question prior to that. If you have rewards waiting in your batteries and you do any actions like sacking more into your central grid or activating a new battery or deactivating your batteries or changing your allocations, any of those actions will cause your batteries to auto claim for you and the rewards will be waiting in your wallet. And you can go on DeBank to confirm that you've received the rewards. If you buy someone's microgrid, do you get the early sacrifice bonus when it's added to your position?
So not necessarily. I mean, it depends on what you're buying the microgrid at. You have to calculate at dollar value, but if they're selling their microgrid below market value, then you do get a bit of a bonus, I suppose. But no, I mean the only bonus that is applicable is literally buying EMP off the market or EMP ETH LP or EMP, up EMP, or bonds, all of which are technically EMP in and of themselves, those are only the assets that qualify for the peg bonus.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm not seeing too many more that you haven't already answered or addressed those topics.
Okay. All right, that's awesome then. I know it was a long one today, 2.5 hours after talking all day. So apologies if I get a little snippy. I don't know what's the right word at the end here, but yeah, it's been an amazing run. Obviously we're running on adrenaline at this point, but overall it could not have been a more successful launch for sure. So any final words, LA, before we wrap it up?
Yes. Yes, I want everyone to give AJ a big round of applause. Woo!
Oh,
For
right
a
on.
massive day. Like, holy crap, this guy's been on AMAs since noon. So that's 9 hours and 20 minutes straight that he's been talking. And he's about to get on another meeting straight after this. So this man is a damn hero.
Oh, right
So
on, LA. Well, I could not do it without you. Again, LA is literally the backbone of the protocol, setting up all the AMAs, organizing all the developers, making sure I'm on track with all the business development and managing the whole community and our mods again. So shout out to you, LA. I know you've been sick and you've been running just as hard as I have behind the scenes. So again, we have the dream team here, and that was one last thing I want to mention. Again, I know I should have probably said it earlier, but the really cool thing about EMP Fusion, which we've been saying in a lot of our AMAs, is you're essentially investing in us and as a team, and that is so poetic to me because we always say invest in teams, not necessarily protocols. And if you know that we will never give up, that we will pivot to whatever we need to pivot to, and that we will continue building no matter what, EMP Fusion is the only way to get exposure to everything that we build moving forward. So, I think that's a really powerful narrative that we as a community need to really focus in on. So, yeah, absolutely, LA.
yeah,
You're the best. I appreciate you.
you're the best. And then also, I just want to say such a heartfelt thank you to any of you who have been in the chat helping to answer questions. You know who you are if that's you. There have been specific people who have been so incredibly helpful, and the number of messages in the chats, both on Telegram and Discord, have been so overwhelming. There's just no way that we would have been able to answer them all ourselves. Like, I have been on one platform at a time and I can't even keep up with it. It's so fast, especially the day of launch. So you guys have been so incredibly helpful. And I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to those of you who have taken your time to help with testing, to help with answering questions. Even if you've just been spreading your positivity with helping to keep the morale and attitudes high of the participants in the group, like, you definitely are making a difference and it's very much appreciated and noticed. So thank you guys, you absolutely rock. In the coming days with all these AMAs, if you have the time to attend a few of them, if you have the time just to retweet some posts about them, leave a comment, every tiny little bit matters. And we are going to spread the news about Fusion far and wide, and we're going to make sure everybody knows about it. And so the more that you guys are able to help out with it, in regards to helping spread the news on the socials, the more of an impact and a wave we are going to cause. So thank you guys.
Amazing, LA. Yes, again, I'm trying not to get emotional here because, like I said earlier, this has been literally a year plus of blood, sweat, and tears, that have gone into this rebuild. The community has been nothing but supportive. Again, obviously, we get the haters, we get the trolls, but overall, everything LA said is because of the amazing community that we have built. And we will say it, we said it before, we'll say it again. This is the best community in crypto, and we have assembled not only some of the most passionate people, but also some of the brightest people in all of crypto. So thank you all for continuing to support the protocol and believe in what we're doing. And we are all reaping the benefits even now. I mean, we barely have gotten started, and it's already a massive recovery. So all right. That being said, again, I think we're gonna wrap it up. LA, I want to give you one more opportunity. Any other final words? Yeah, go ahead.
Last thing is, obviously you saw at the end there, it was pretty overwhelming to find all the questions on YouTube. It's not that we are not going to answer questions on YouTube, but throughout the day, if you can think of your questions ahead of time and get them onto Discord, it would be so incredibly helpful. And that way I can assure you 100% your question is going to get answered, because I go through it a lot more slowly throughout the day. I copy and paste it onto a list, and I think about your question and how we're going to answer it. And I remember that you've asked it. So I, a lot of the time, try to weave in those types of topics into the conversation before we even get to the questions. And we just have a lot more time to think about the questions before we even, get to the AMA. Whereas opposed to on YouTube, a lot of the time I always make sure to ask the Discord questions first, because those people ask them first. So the YouTube ones are more rushed. So I will always try to get all of the questions answered, but if you can think of them ahead of time and they're not just coming to you in the moment on YouTube, please try to get them onto Discord. That would be super helpful.
Yep, absolutely. And we did go extra long today going through everything. We will be doing some standalone tutorials as well. But moving forward, we'll have a lot more time to answer the actual live questions and talk about updates from all of our other protocols. Again, Cedo Swap, the perps went live over there. So if you haven't checked those out, definitely check those out. We have a lot of things that we've been cooking, even with Fusion being the priority at the moment. Um, Again, we never give up and never take a rest either. So lots of moving parts, and we'll update all of you on that over the next few AMAs. But all right,
And that's
yeah.
that's the benefit of combining teams, because Jake's been spearheading a lot of that stuff with SparkSwap and Cedo Swap. Well, you and I have been focusing a lot on Fusion, and that's the beauty of the dream team.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and again, some alpha. I think we have a fireside chat coming up with Jake soon too, right, LA?
Yeah, we do on Saturday,
Yes.
in the DeFi community. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be a good catch up over the entire franchise over there. So again, please, like Ella said earlier, do everything you can to join these AMAs and show support. Even today with Dow King, we had the biggest turnout on his channel for live viewers that he has had in months. So that shows again how powerful our community is, and that relates directly to our bags of people getting in. So, all right, that will do it then. We'll wrap it up. Much love to all of you. An amazing, successful launch of EMP Fusion. Again, beyond our wildest expectations. We're way ahead of schedule, and just continue to DCA. Again, never invest more than you can afford, but slowly buying EMP off the market and sacrificing it will get us all to the promised land that much sooner. So, all right, awesome, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you all. We will see you on Thursday, again, every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. And good night, good day. We'll see you then. Bye bye.